Let's hit the news. Let's not. Fuck, my friend. Hold on. Something got overloaded. Leela, come on. Get up on the couch. Come on. Stay. Let's try this again. Let's hit the news.
Like, hit the news, like, hit him in the face, right?
Hit me in the stomach.
Hit you in the lungs.
No, some asshole just ran by and right in my stomach.
Yeah, that's
really
crazy.
knocked the wind out of me. I wasn't expecting
Just
it.
talking about violence begets violence, I guess.
I was talking about hit the news. You heard, turn it into violent.
Yeah.
See what I reference is.
But I didn't run by and punch you, so that was some other random person.
Well, normally I do tons and tons of ab exercise, like 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
And fitness
on the light days.
Fitness experts say, Max, that's overkill. A half hour to like an hour every other day is sufficient. Beyond that, it's overkill. You're actually probably hurting your body. And I say, fuck you. I'm gonna do my 10 hours of sit-ups. But right now, you see, when I said hit, I meant take an inhale from the bowl.
Oh, see, I thought when you said hit the news this time, we're gonna hit the news like in the face because they're so ridiculous.
No.
Like,
but you see, when I am in the middle of inhaling like that, I'm not able to flex my stomach at the same time.
Aha.
See, one of the tricks they say is do that when you're getting hit. It flexes your stomach.
Right.
So instead of in the exhale, I was just loosening it up.
Yeah. Just
making a big target.
Yeah, just letting anyone get in there and just, punch away.
Yeah. So that's in the news.
Yeah, that's it.
I got punched in the stomach.
No, what is really in the news?
Oh.
I know some things that are in the news, but you always have a nice list.
Yeah.
You're very well organized about things in the news.
Well, it starts off organized, but then we just kind of go whatever direction seems to flow.
All goes.
We'll pretend it's organized. Let's begin on. Again, I like the idea of just getting North Korea news out of the way right at the front.
Yeah.
So let's just do that.
Yeah.
So North Korea is being shitty still.
Yeah, totally.
But the U.S. is saying, hey guys, this may be rhetoric and whatever, but if you don't stop that, we're going to start taking action.
Which I think is important.
Yeah, and so the U.S. started to move some missile defense systems into Guam, and they've been sending like planes and stuff over North Korea. And North Korea's been getting even shittier about their relations with South Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of this stuff is starting to be a little shitty for them. They're putting themselves in a very shitty position because the more they keep making these threats and stuff, the more it's giving us a reason to fucking bomb them.
Well, I think that's the craziest part of the situation is recently there's been this development that the internally between North Korea and China, they're saying like, oh, there's not gonna be a war, and that internally in North Korea, it's that they really don't plan on going to war, that it's all just a propaganda effort internally to like make their people think that they're about to go to war because they don't have any access to the outside world. So as far as they know, North Korea is like the most powerful country on the planet.
Yeah.
So like if it's like, oh, we're gonna go to war, and then you just don't go to war, and then you say, hey, yeah, we won the war.
But you make those threats to the people like the U.S.
Right.
And it's like, sorry, my
Well,
friends,
even if
we
it
don't
is
take
fake,
threats like that lightly.
Even if it is fake, I think it's the world's responsibility to come in and say like, listen, you don't get to like if you want to play all this stupid propaganda shit with your own people, that's fine, but you're not gonna drag the rest of the world into it like we're just here for you to like play with.
Right.
You know, and just the level of arrogance that it takes to play with politics like that. You know, playing with the notion of World War III, essentially. Or Korean War II.
Well, there comes a thing. All right, in this episode, I will be holding my own microphone because I just pulled the hook out of the ceiling.
Yay!
And if you saw that video, this is on video.
Yeah.
This isn't bad. The only problem is sometimes when I hold it, it cuts out, so hopefully that won't happen. But otherwise, I'll get a sweet little workout here.
You can't make like a stand for that thing?
I can, but I haven't.
And isn't the shock thing, isn't that kind of a stand?
That doesn't work. We could put like rubber bands or something in it, but that just ties or hooks into like an existing stand. It screws on.
What do you need? Just like a hole in this table or something?
We'd need like a stand to like hold it, like a leg, and then would like clip on whatever that is.
Or a dowel rod and an A clamp. I made a microphone stand for Rock Band one time that was...
Yeah, I mean, we can rig something together, totally.
It was like a pine round with weights in it, with a dowel rod sticking up out of it it had a hole with a bolt with another dowel rod, you know, think of like a microphone stand,
right.
And then on the end of it was an A-clamp. And you just like, it fit perfectly with the Rock Band microphone, or you just like put it in the A-clamp. Actually, I think the Clements still have it. I let them like have my Beatles Rock Band because I like wasn't playing on it.
That's cool.
And they love the Beatles, so I was like, here, have this stuff, and then now you can rock out.
But the thing that's nice, like with a shock mount, is that like it absorbs the shock. So like if you just like hook this directly into something, it might pick up like the vibrations and stuff.
Yeah.
But we could, like I said, put like some new elastic or something on the shock mount and we can make something.
Yeah.
This was just working until now.
Right.
So time to start anew.
It works until you pull on it.
Well, I was adjusting the thing.
Because we don't have real
I didn't straight pull it down, but the grip from just moving it along pulled it out.
Friction and forces.
Yes.
Gravity.
Yes.
And acceleration.
Okay, so anyway, back to the nudes. The news. There was a good quote on here from Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel. And the NBC News reported that he said, "I hope the North will ratchet this very dangerous rhetoric down," he said, adding that there is a pathway to peace, but only if Pyongyang decides to be, in quotes, a responsible member of the world community.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's the same world community we always talk about. And it's not just like, we're America, so do what we say. We say that you need to be part of our system. But no we are part of this world community.
It's one of those things where the rest of the world has been sanctioning North Korea and all this stuff because of what they're doing to their people. And because of the incredible level of misinformation and non-education that's happening in North Korea, and for them to pull such a thing to just like, you know, as a trick on their people to drag the rest of the world into it on a topic that they specifically are outspoken against.
Yeah.
You know, like we get dragged into it against our will because they're trying to play a trick on their people to cement their power.
And I mean, that could have been a lot of, I'm sure a lot of it comes from the way that Kim Jong-un was raised.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He was raised by Kim Jong-il.
Yeah. Who
said, like, basically, we have all the power and brainwashed him into this position.
Yes, your grandfather was God.
Yeah. So I don't think he understands the consequences of some of this. And unfortunately, he's going to have to learn one way or another and keep pushing a giant beast like the rest of the world. We're going to do something eventually.
Yeah.
So...
yeah,
that's the North Korea news.
Fucking North Korea.
And while we're on a downswing, we already, I think, talked about this last time, but there's a bit more information on InstaWallet. It's actually not that bad of information. The bad information was that it got hacked and that it was down. That was news 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But now they've actually posted a notice about it, and we've been able to look into a little bit more about what kind of caused that. And unfortunately, the thing with the InstaWallet, the way that it's encrypted and stuff is just, it's a URL that hopefully no one has, but so if you accidentally gave away your bookmarks or something and you had a copy of it, someone could get your wallet. It's just, but then robots and stuff like Google were able to actually index that, and it was, unfortunately, like they didn't protect against that, because I know there are ways you can do that. Websites do it all the time. But unfortunately, some of their stuff was compromised, and they've had to shut down the whole thing. So
Indefinitely.
yeah, so right now on their notice it says the InstaWallet service is suspended indefinitely until we are able to develop an alternative architecture. Which, in fairness, yeah, if they reopen the site as it is, all the people
Yeah.
that have the information are going to be able to get your money. So
Right.
they do have to do this,
Yes.
given that they got hacked. It's shitty for people involved, but what they are saying that is better than nothing is they will be accepting claims. So, like, if you have an InstaWallet, which a lot of people do, you have money in there, you can get that money back, but it'll take 90 days for that claim to be processed, which is super shitty.
Yeah.
And that's if you have less than 50 Bitcoin. If you have
and
more than 50 Bitcoin, it might...
Indefinitely doesn't mean infinitely.
Right, but it means
It
it could
just
be
means
one
they
day,
don't-
it could be a year,
Yeah,
until they
right.
can
You
develop
don't know.
this alternative architecture.
InstaWallet's gone down before. InstaWallet went down last year. InstaWallet went down last year for like a month or something, and then it was like back up.
Yeah,
So,
so,
I mean, shit
I'm
happens.
sure they'll eventually get it figured out
Yeah.
and get something back on the market. It's a very in demand service.
And they're not the only people out there.
Yeah, they're just like really nice, clean,
Right,
and
yeah.
a very
It's
easy point of
easy,
access.
yes.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens. And we did have our show money was in an InstaWallet for the prizes we were giving out. But fortunately, I do have a bunch of extra Bitcoin. I say a bunch. I have like 0.7
Well, yeah.
extra of my own Bitcoin in a wallet just on my computer. So I'll be able to keep the prizes going.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys don't worry about the InstaWallet. Unfortunately, though, if you win some of our Bitcoin, you won't be able to use InstaWallet right now. But we'll help you get set up with a wallet that'll suit your needs. More on that coming up in our user review section. So yeah, I'll put in a claim, and everything, and hopefully get the money back. But the weird thing with the claims is anyone can essentially claim it. So if these hackers have these URLs, if they put in a claim before you do, then they could get your money because it's the first claim that someone puts in. So if you do have money in InstaWallet, make sure to put that claim in as soon as they let you. And it's supposed to be a pretty easy process. It's just like a form you put in your ID and stuff. So I don't know. So that's the downside of Bitcoin right now. On the upside, it's been pretty strong. Right now, it's at about $124 to the dollar, or $124 to the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Which last night it got up to some ridiculous like 170 or something.
That's insane.
But that was only for like a minute. But it has been hovering around this 120ish range. It seems today, and that's awesome. Litecoin's been doing pretty well too.
Yeah.
I actually bought a little Litecoin because it took a little bit of a dive and then came back up. So I don't know where it is now. That's been hovering around $4-ish today. And Dan realized he can mine Litecoin like mad with his GPU.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
Yes, sir. I was like, so doing the CPU mining, which I don't have a bad CPU. It's a Core 2 quad, so it's like a couple generations old. It's not, ancient technology by any means.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, it doesn't have
Well,
where it counts.
in terms of computers is kind of ancient.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I was just reading
And
about like one of the supercomputers from like 2009 is obsolete. They have to like tear
Mhm.
it down.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
thing was
that's-
like
right.
2009 was the best computer on the
Yes.
planet.
Yes.
And now it's obsolete.
Yeah.
4 years later.
It's crazy.
Computers move fucking fast.
But yeah, so I found, I was looking at, because I've been mining Bitcoin with my GPU, and I get like 190 mega hash. It's not anything that crazy. It's
Right, 'cause
good,
in the
but it's not,
Bitcoin
like,
world,
great.
people have these ASIC machines, and
Well,
and there's
beyond
people
that, they have entire, people.
it's a
just-
much more established
Yeah,
market.
yes. There's a hell of a lot of people that have access to like just racks of computers that are GPU mining.
Oh yeah,
stuff
and
like
even
that.
before like the ASIC machines, people have been optimizing their machines,
Right.
and when they've had just GPU cards and stuff laying around, they've been able to hack things together, and people have been working on that for a while. So Litecoin being such like a new market, and it doesn't work with these like ASIC things. So you've got a much more limited market in that, which is cool.
Right.
For a new entry point.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, since I can really only do like the CPU mining, I'm doing GPU and CPU, which I'm getting a little boost from the GPU, but it's like 6 kilohash a second or something,
Yeah.
which is not much, but it adds up.
Yeah, I was getting 20 kilohash with my CPU, and then I started mining with my GPU, and I get like 220 kilohash. So it's
Yeah.
crazy faster. I wish there was.
And I get, like, my CPU is really good. I get about 50 kilohash because I
Yeah.
can have about 8 threads going at once pretty
Mhm.
well, each about 5 plus kilohash.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's good.
and it's one of those things where it's like Litecoin is cool because the community is treating it like the silver to Bitcoin's gold.
Some of the
Like, that's
community, a lot of people are really shitty about it. When I was
a
hanging
lot
out
of
on
people are shitty
BTCE,
about Bitcoin at all.
yeah, but a lot of people, like, who it seemed, at least just today when I was hanging out on the BTCE for a while, there were a lot of people that were, like, talking down Litecoin versus Bitcoin,
Yeah.
and then they eventually left, and the rest of the community seemed
Right.
pretty okay about it.
Right.
But there do seem to be some people that, like, are not excited about another Bitcoin. But I think on the whole, people probably are more excited
Yeah.
about both of them and the whole cryptocurrency
Well, I mean,
market picking up.
the idea being
steam.
here that like if Litecoin is the silver to Bitcoin's gold, right now if you have Bitcoin and you buy Litecoin with it, because Bitcoin is worth so much fucking money, you just can buy all the damn Litecoins.
Yeah, so if it does keep going up, I mean, yeah, your returns could be massive.
Yeah.
Like if you had bought in at Litecoin, when it was like 25 cents or even $1, you would have quadrupled your investment. Whereas, if you buy a Bitcoin today, to quadruple the investment is going to take a long time if it even happens.
But there's this big thing with now that Bitcoin's in the mainstream, like they're going back and reevaluating its actual value and stuff like that, like versus these fiat currencies.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that to protect themselves, they might probably sink the price. But if they're being real about it, I would expect the price to go up even higher.
Who would sink the price?
These people who are reevaluating the value of Bitcoin against fiat currency.
They can't do anything about it, though.
Sure. If you can...
I mean, it's based on what people are paying. The way to make the value go down is not use it. People have to stop trading it and basically avoid the market.
Right.
So people who want to come down are probably already avoiding that shit.
Yeah, well, yeah. All the naysayers are already avoiding it, and they're missing out big. So.
And it's cool now because there's another story here. This company Simple Honey, who was doing something with Bitcoin or another, they got bought out and joined up forces with OpenCoin, and now they are working on bringing a deregulated currency exchange altogether to the market. Well, it already exists, but they're bringing Bitcoin and doing a lot more with it. But they use this Ripple currency, which is another abstracted digital currency, but you can't mine it or anything. It's like just the company has it, and they use it to go in between any other exchanges. So like you can exchange between dollars and euros and Bitcoin now, and it's basically like another exchange, but it's supposed to be like instant. So if you have dollars and you want to buy Bitcoin, you can do it instantly. And they're really trying to make it a nice, easy entry point for the masses. So they're trying to help, bring this market. And I think it, like I've said before, it's the companies that do the innovative products like this that are going to really allow these things to grow. And when they can keep bringing in more people from the outside, the value is going to keep growing as there's more demand to buy it. But the only way the value is going to go up is if people keep trading and people. Same way, with any economy, the way that the dollar is worth more is when people are spending the dollar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I got into Litecoin because I found out that places like Hasher and places that accept Bitcoin were starting to accept Litecoins, and I was like, well, this is gonna be a thing just as big. So I thought back immediately to when Bitcoin was
a baby.
Yeah, baby, and I didn't buy $1,000 worth of it.
No one did. I mean, maybe a couple people did.
No, people did.
People mined a lot of it.
People did.
When it was easier, it was a lot easier to mine when the difficulty was so low. And but people, I think, didn't invest a ton of money when it was new.
There's a thing about someone on Reddit who
people were giving it around.
No,
like nothing.
Someone on Reddit put $30,000 of their life savings into Bitcoin when it was like $5, and they now have
that's
like
awesome.
$250,000.
Yeah, and that's that it looks like it does happen, but that's definitely not the most common thing. A lot of people didn't think Bitcoin was going to be as big as it is now.
Sure, yeah, most of the people mined it.
No,
yeah.
the people mined it, but they didn't buy it.
Right. But people did buy it. It's not that nobody bought it.
No, I know, and people have been exchanging it since its inception. people have been buying it, but I don't think people have really started. They didn't start investing in it heavily until it really started to grow. And it was around like the $5 mark. That was
Yeah, I mean,
people didn't expect it was
It
going to be worth
wasn't-
$100 then.
the people who already had a bunch of Bitcoin when it hit $5 already made a bunch of money out of nothing. And
Yeah, and they probably held on to it instead, like kept investing, and as it continued to grow in value, like any thing, people
the first
people
people-
jumped on the
the
bandwagon.
first people to do this mining were
But those
like
are people who are like
the
really
only,
rich now.
Yeah, because they were hitting every Bitcoin.
Right,
You're-
the difficulty was so low,
Yeah.
and like the pools on that were like the pools on Litecoin now.
Yeah, so you have people who just have who just had like hundreds of Bitcoins from the beginning. I mean, this is spread amongst a bunch of people. But those
Yeah.
people are doing pretty fucking great right now.
Unless they were the people who spent all their Bitcoin when it was like
Yeah.
$5 because they're like, oh fuck yeah, it's $5, let's cash in.
Well, there was a video thing about the guy who ordered the pizza,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Man, if I had it now," he's like, "But it's not really about it. I don't really need money." So he lives in
That's
in
cool.
an abandoned office building in London and just tries to make Bitcoin happen.
That's
Fucking
awesome. A lot of people who do these cryptocurrencies, but more generally open source software, I
Mhm.
think are usually really cool people that are coming from the right place.
It's like tech hippies. They're
Yeah,
like very
yeah.
very technologically inclined, but very like,
Communally
I don't
driven.
need money. I just need people and happiness
Yeah.
and cool shit. You know,
They want to
It's-
be a part of this community and move that forward.
Yeah.
It's we accept the money as part of the whole equation.
Right.
Like you need some to pay rent and stuff. But
Well, and that's why you do this.
yeah,
That's why you do this.
exactly.
Make money out of wasted CPU power.
And
that
here's
you're not
something
using.
cool.
Or in my case, dedicate your machine just
Yes.
straight to it while you're doing it.
Well, if you're not doing other stuff on your computer,
Yeah, right.
take
right
some time
now,
to read a book and make a few bucks while you do it.
Hell yeah. Get paid to do
Record a
other things.
podcast
Oh my god, is this like a trick to get people?
away
To-
from the computer.
Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
to pay people to go live their lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Funny how the digital world has such an impact.
That's kind of funny though. Yeah.
So yeah, start mining Litecoins and Bitcoins, and then you'll enjoy the outdoors more. I think I've been outside more in like the last 2 days than the last week.
This doesn't really affect that, but I was looking at this. Amazon has been lowering their prices on the S3, which is like a hosting thing where you can, it's like a server.
Yeah.
I don't think these costs affect anything like running a mining operation or anything off that, but they cut the prices in half for
Wow.
like the basic services that people use that
Yeah.
for, like when someone sends a request to your website, like if it's a certain type of request, like a GET request, it actually costs 60% less than what it did before. And then if there's a post request or like a couple other ones, like a put or a list, which if you do web development, you know what I'm talking about. If not, don't worry about it. It's down about 50%. So either way, the cost of running like your basic service in the cloud is down about half.
That's awesome.
Which is so cool. And that's, one of the things that's really cool about computing power and stuff growing and making a business model out of making that as cheap as possible but still making a profit.
Mm-hmm.
Like Amazon, I'm sure, is able to buy computers that are a little bit more powerful than the last ones they had, and they can charge about half the price and they still make about as much money because technology increases at such a fast rate. It's cool stuff. So if you're looking to start a cloud service, now is the time.
Mm-hmm. If you're looking to do a lot of cool techie things, now is always the time.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get into the digital world at all, now is generally the time. Because tomorrow is going to be better. 10 minutes from now is going to be better.
Unless some of this dark matter that we've been finding ends up destroying us.
Yeah, well, we're just going to harness it and build crazy
Hopefully.
super reactors.
Well, this is actually really big news. I guess I'll get to right now. There have been there's this sensor thing, this alpha magnetic spectrometer.
I got one of those.
Yeah. No, it's on the International Space Station, and they just got some of the first data from it, which was about 400,000 positrons they had detected, which is really closely linked to antimatter and dark matter, actually. So this is actually a very strong sign that we have found a condensed or like a dense source, so to speak, of dark matter.
That's awesome.
Because up until recently, like we've had these detectors like way underground, and we have to wait for like years for like a tiny bit of information to come through, and we're like, oh, we might have caught it. So here we put this out in space where a lot more of these like cosmic rays and things are coming in before they get filtered through our Earth stuff, through like our magnetosphere and whatever, and everything else on Earth, all our fucking shit. So we've got this raw data, and it's really cool because that we go further out into space, and it helps us understand, the quantum world and the whole picture of everything a little bit better. Because dark matter is fucking intense. It's I have the figure. It's about 84.5% of the matter in the universe is dark matter. And we haven't been able to detect it up until like fairly recently.
Yeah, and then when we are able to actually harvest it, we're gonna turn it into a super reactor and then travel all around space.
Hopefully. So it's very exciting stuff.
At the speed of light times n.
But the thing that's interesting with antimatter is that when it interacts with matter, or like when the positron interacts with an electron, they annihilate each other.
Yeah.
So that's my worry. We have a lot of this coming towards us. It's not gonna hit us and we're just gonna poof, disappear. It's possible.
Yeah, but I think
we.
How much of
apparently a lot of it actually does pass through us all the time.
Yeah.
84% of the world is it, and it doesn't affect us.
I would think that it's just everywhere. It's just on a wavelength that we're not really.
Yeah, I think it is.
Tuned to.
But if we start playing with it, we might start disappearing things. That'll be great for Magic. Just like splash some antimatter on your assistant, and she's gone forever.
But the thing is when they annihilate, how much energy is produced.
Yeah, I don't know how that. I mean, it might be like
that's what I'm looking at.
Well, all the energy that was involved in them in the first place.
So there you go.
You cannot create or destroy it, so it would be the amount of energy that existed within them.
Sure.
That's physics. You can't create energy.
Right.
So zero would be created. It would just, all the energy that was already in it would be blasted out.
So
in that annihilation.
And that's, so what kind of energy lies within it?
Depends how many electrons and how many positrons, I guess. I bet you could figure out the amount of electricity in one electron. Or the energy. Just calculate out. There's 400,000 positrons heading toward us in this.
Just use my positron spectra analyzer.
Yeah, just keep saying words.
And I'll just do that, and then I'll get the calculations from that.
Oh boy. So I've got some bad space news.
Aliens are on their way.
Now that'd be cool space news.
Aliens are on their way with giant death rays.
Exactly, that's it.
Of dark matter. Oh,
shit.
That's how it worked.
Shit. I want to watch Mars Attacks. That's a fun movie I haven't seen in a while. My favorite part, I can't even remember exactly what the words are, but they're like, relax, we're not trying to hurt you, as they're like shooting them with their guns.
Yeah, because
they don't understand the nuance of your actions are speaking much louder than the words.
I just think that I always thought that the joke there was that the people who made the translator thing were way the fuck off. That they just like made a thing that was like, yeah, we'll just take all these things and make it
we'll
like
have to
nice
watch it again and reanalyze it.
Yeah, I guess.
That sounds like an okay thing.
Yeah.
But the bad news is that Disney is shutting down LucasArts and canceling the 2 Star Wars games that are in development. Star Wars 1313 and First Assault.
Fuckers. First Assault was supposed to be like Battlefront 3.
Yeah, people are pissed about this.
Cocksuckers.
This is shitty, and they're not trying to do away with the LucasArts brand. What they're trying to do is convert it, rather than being an in-house team that does all the stuff, is they're going to license that to other companies that do more games, so they can theoretically do more with the brand than just like a limited thing. But it's shitty that they had to put the axe on the things that were already in progress that people were excited about. They had announced.
People were working on for 3-4 years. Yeah.
I mean,
it's shitty.
Yeah. They got paid and everything, but it's a shitty thing to devote that much time, because only so much is about the money. The rest of your life is, what you do to earn that money. And these people were putting in their time to make a really cool game, and then, Oh, sorry. Here we go. And I think this has been rumored for a while, and a lot of the people I'm sure probably saw it coming.
Yeah.
But I also
What if
bet
George
they
Lucas
got
was hip and he took like a bunch of his money that when he sold like for the several $billion that he sold Lucas,
$4 billion.
yeah, $4 billion. That's several. That's beyond few.
Yeah.
That he just like bought a bunch of like Bitcoin or something like
That would be. Well, he couldn't have bought. I mean,
that.
he could have bought all of it, I guess.
What if George Lucas just bought? He was like, well, I can either keep riding this whole train where,
And then because he bought it, and then he had all of it, no one else was buying it, and the value just tanked, and his $1 billion purchase turned into like a 5-cent thing.
George Lucas is.
And then he sold it all back and restarted the Bitcoin market.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when George Lucas was the coolest guy in the world?
Anacoins.
What?
Nothing.
Oh. Have you heard about these new wit coins?
Unfortunately.
Yes, the rest of you haven't, I'm sure.
No.
Because they're an invention of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the idea. I haven't developed them at a technical level, but just a conceptual level. So the basic idea is comedians earn money by tweeting or posting on some digital form jokes.
Mm.
Somehow the posting of a joke has to translate into mining coin, and then so comedians and people who are funny can make coin. And somehow I think the funnier jokes, as they get spread around, like when people share a joke, you get a little bit more money. It mines a little bit more coin.
Sure.
So the funnier your shit is, like the more money you have, and then there's like this immediate value system, like where the quality of something will boost it up, or at least the virality of it.
Sure.
But so Witcoin. Keep an eye out for that. Or if anyone has an idea on how to technically implement that, partner with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you like 20% of it to make it happen.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to post my jokes on Twitter. Twittra.
You can do that now. Actually, a lot of people do monetize their Twitter content.
Sure.
Mike Me in Black
people.
actually makes.
Famous people monetize the shit out of it.
Oh my god, he gets paid something like.
Famous people can monetize walking down the
$1,200.
street. You realize that, right? Famous people can monetize
the fucked up thing about being famous, and the awesome thing is when you have all this money, you don't have to pay for anything.
Right.
People give you clothes to promote. People pay you to just promote whatever the hell they want you to.
Yeah.
But there are sites like a Starry that anyone can sign up for if you have a moderate Twitter following. But the celebrities are the ones who really bank on it. But you just post through their thing, and it basically like shoots a bunch of ads or something. Or you do something like where you just promote whatever product, and it's insane the amount of money that's out there. But I mean, that's advertising. How much would you pay for, Michael Jordan to be in your Coke commercial? You probably cut that price in half and get him to tweet something for you.
Mm-hmm.
So
basically,
and that's actually one of the things why Community's been able to stay afloat is they've learned to do a lot of the monetization of that, rather than just viewing the cable broadcast and like doing ads and stuff.
Right.
And they've been able to monetize it through like Alison Brie's Twitter popularity and other characters or the actors. But they've been outspoken about that, like how if they didn't have that kind of format, they wouldn't have been able to
Twitter's
to make money off of it.
Pretty fucking big deal.
So yeah, I mean, you get a lot of following on there. Yeah, it's like you get to blast ads in a really cool way though, because it's people. I mean, I'd rather get ads from people who are promoting a product than like reading a.
It's a lot less in your face when you have 4,000 updates every couple minutes, though. So you're getting spammed 24/7 anyway. So if it's an ad, it's just part of the other shit.
But it just feels more personal, like when it's just like a little thing that they're saying about is what I'm saying, rather than like watching a whole advertisement. Same reason, like I prefer when radio hosts and things read the advertisements, even though they're reading an ad. Versus just hearing like a pre-recorded ad that the company made.
Yeah, so do psychologists.
Yeah.
It's apparently the radio advertising is the strongest. It creates the strongest meaning in your audience's brain. Like having someone on the radio like walk you through an advertisement has a lot higher of a retention impact on its audience than watching a funny commercial.
Yeah, well, and it feels like they're giving you advice rather than
It's like a trusted person giving you advice.
Like if right now, we talk about Bitcoin, so I could tell you that Butterfly Labs is coming out with these mining rigs.
Yeah.
And it would totally be worth it for you to go spend even like $125 on the smallest one.
Yeah, the jalapenos are still, that's a.
If you look at what the rate of
plan.
Bitcoin is now, there's calculators online we can link to in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
But they are hyper profitable. You buy one of these now, they haven't shipped yet, and luckily, I think the pre-order price might go up after they ship. But it's kind of a funny thing because you tell people about it, they're like, "Wait, is that a scam? Like you're mining money just from buying this little machine?"
Right.
Because theoretically, they pay for themselves in about a week.
Mm-hmm.
After you mine Bitcoin,
The people who got their Avalons, they paid for it in 7 days, 6 or 7 days.
Yeah.
I mean, the ASIC mining is amazing.
It's the next revolution in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
In the Bitcoin world. So check out butterflylabs.com and go pick up your miner.
Yeah, and keep looking at their updates. The forums are cool because you get a little insight.
That's where actually you get most of the information.
Yeah.
Because a lot of their news and stuff isn't really. They have a Twitter feed and you can watch that for like updates, but the forums really have like when they post new announcements and people ask questions and they get responses and stuff there. And I think they've got like a phone number you can call for customer service and so it seems like they're relatively approachable.
Yeah, and they've been releasing all kinds of and they get back to people on the forum. Yeah. But they've also been releasing all kinds of photos and videos and stuff like that.
Video of like testing. They're getting closer. It's been taking a while and people are getting they've been uneasy since it's been getting delayed.
Well,
but
I think the real reason that most of the people are upset is because they paid for their machines in Bitcoin, and so now their machines have cost them. That's a lot.
That's a big piece of it, but a lot of people just wanted these machines.
Aren't losing anything.
Sure, and we've talked about that before.
And if those people are upset, fuck you, you're impatient.
Yeah, but no, a lot of the people, I mean, they said these were supposed to come out, a while ago. Or whatever,
last June, a year ago.
Yeah,
a year ago.
But it's a brand spanking new technology that you are taking a risk. When they're just building it now. But I am excited because it does seem like they're getting very close to actually releasing these things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very very close. ButterflyLabs.com.
BFL.
Yes, no, seriously, check it out, and give you a little more insight into.
And they actually, I said that they have like a few different models. They've got like a $650 one and like a $1,200 one, and they all, each one is increasingly powerful.
Right.
So,
but every one of them is designed to pay for themselves in a week.
Will pay for themselves basically.
And that's in the
insane.
first. I mean. Who knows, man? I have no idea how this is going to work when those things hit the market.
Well, the difficulty will go up and it will slow down, but with we've still got a long ways to go even once these hit the market for them to not work anymore. So yeah, a lot of it is unknown, but
I mean, it's designed to scale to that level.
But right now is the time to get it.
Yes.
I mean, as soon as you can.
Yeah.
So sooner the better.
Get it now while it's still a pre-order, or else.
I don't know what the prices are going to go up to after that.
Well, considering that the people who paid Bitcoin have paid like $6,000.
Oh yeah, that was a stupid idea to pay Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because
Yes, I mean it's one of those things where like it's good because that moving the Bitcoin around and all that was supportive of the movement, I guess. But it's for those people, if you're investing in a machine for the idea that it's gonna make you more Bitcoins, why? I don't know. It's just if you were banking on the idea that Bitcoins were going to be worth a lot more money, why would you spend that many of them like that? Right. Yeah.
And I think it was that if you would have thought the whole picture through, and I don't feel too bad for those people because exactly like you say, they should have seen. If they were planning on this currency growing.
The machines are listed at 74 Bitcoins is what it costs to get one of these BFL machines, which today is
5 times what it was.
Yeah, 7,000
when they ordered this.
Something. 7,000.
Oh. How many? I could pull up for you. 75?
74.
74.
Yeah,
74 right now is $9,161.
Holy shit. Yeah, so those people are pissed off right now.
Oh, yeah. But they should be pissed at themselves.
Yes.
Because they are the ones who
Yes.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Sorry. Zynga's got some interesting stuff happening, which is funny because they've been a big player in like the digital goods world,
Mhm.
but they're actually releasing a casino now for real money
Yeah, I
in
saw
the
that.
UK.
Yeah.
So like we've got BitZeno here, they've now got Zyngasino,
Mm-hmm.
which I wonder if they'll get on like the Bitcoin at any time. Zynga's got a huge fucking grab in the market.
Zynga should, because I think it would do well for their model.
Yeah.
I think their micro purchase model. See, that's the beautiful thing about Bitcoin is because
Micro purchases are fantastic.
because it's
with
so super divisible. Like the idea is like there's only maybe 21 million of these Bitcoins, so like that's like one Bitcoin for every 500 people on the planet. It's not like a lot of Bitcoin. It's not. No one's gonna have like a bunch of Bitcoins in the future of Bitcoin. Unless you're rich.
Right.
You know, like people are gonna have like maybe a Bitcoin if they're rich. Like they'll have, half a Bitcoin will be like an average, like people who've already invested and stuff like that. But everything is built on the model of like these super, super, super micro amounts. So like
Right.
BitZeno, you're gambling with 100 millionths of a Bitcoin,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. But it still
I think just
has
millions.
a value.
The smallest you can do on BitZeno is millions.
Millions? Oh yeah,
Satoshis
micro,
are 100.
micro. Yeah.
So they're the micro.
Yeah, they're not Satoshis, it's micro bits.
But a lot of things do deal in Satoshis, which are 100 millions.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
and
so it's awesome.
It's one of those things where it's built for microtransactions. So I would think, like, I'm really disappointed in Apple's kind of stance on this whole Bitcoin stuff.
Yeah, they've been rejecting and taking down a lot of apps
Because
on the marketplace.
people who build
Yeah, App Store.
build apps for that market, a lot of that market, the big deal beyond software as a service, but the big deal with like mobile applications is all in the microtransactions. You give the app away, but then people spend money
Apple
in
gives
the
you
app.
nice things to use. You could use your Apple account. You
Sure.
can do like 25 cents.
You can do other things, but you can't use Bitcoin.
Right, and
I
they
think
make a
that's-
point though that you're not
that's-
supposed to do like other, I think, currencies and stuff. So
Right.
I don't know. I'd have to look into the specific details. I think what's cool though is with a lot of the web technologies that are out now,
Mhm.
there are ways to make web apps that
Sure.
you don't have to release on the Apple Store, and someone can just click the add to home screen, and then it adds like that
Right.
web app that you've created,
Yeah.
specifically for that. But then it'll also work on like Androids and
Yeah,
stuff.
do like a Heroku
So I think,
app or something. And then,
Yeah, and that's where like I think the direction that I'm gonna head in the future of like when I do Bitcoin projects and stuff. I'm not gonna try and do anything specifically for iOS,
right.
but I will do like a web app
That's designed
that
to
will be
work on
optimized
it.
for
Yeah,
iOS.
Yeah, exactly.
And and like I said, like HTML5 makes a lot of this stuff possible. You can do almost everything in JavaScript too. I just recently came across this whole like system where you're supposed to be able to easily translate convert like C or C++ code into JavaScript, and that seems just absurd to me. I mean, at a core level, it makes sense, but if you can take something that's like
That blew my fucking mind when you told me that earlier, by the way.
yeah, I mean,
you
it's
saw my
big.
jaw dropped into
Yeah.
my lap and sat there for a solid
But that's a big.
30
I mean,
seconds.
porting code over is a big deal, and when you can get a really smooth system that can just take one and go to the other one, I mean, that is a big deal.
Well,
Especially something as big as JavaScript, which can be run on almost any device in existence.
The biggest
right now.
deal for me is my main experience in programming is C++.
Mhm.
So
A lot of people's are, and a lot of the gaming is. And now with WebGL, you can do a lot of 3D graphics on the web. So
Right.
you mix WebGL and JavaScript, and you've got all sorts of possibilities.
insane.
The thing though is a lot of like even like C and C++, those things are written for specific machines.
Sure.
Like people will write stuff for Windows and for Mac. So if you take something like that and port it over to JavaScript, you're still gonna have the same limitations if it's made to run on your
Right,
system.
Right.
But you write something that's more general, make something that doesn't require your specific machine,
Yeah, I mean,
and then you
everything
can port
I got
that
is
over
like
and
a clock or a grading machine or something stupid anyway. It's all like school
Yeah.
projects.
so. But like I'm wondering, what the implications are of this in miners. Like if we can take these existing, a lot of the mining software is open source,
Yeah.
and port that over to JavaScript. So then, rather than having to go into your command line and type in you just open a website and accept, say yes, I'm allowing you to use my computer's resources.
Well, people do that. There's
People have done like one or two with Bitcoin.
Yeah, there's one, but it's like CPU mining Bitcoin, and
actually, which is dumb for Bitcoin. There is one for Litecoin. Unfortunately, it's part of a pool that won't let anyone new sign up. I think like litecoinpool.org or something. I won't even link to it because they're not going to let you sign up.
Yeah, you guys are dicks.
But they're dicks, but they're technologically advanced. They have an embeddable miner that you can then share with other people, embed in your site. So I think that would be cool to find that piece of it and, let that be. Because if we could put something on our website, like help us make money, just click this button, leave this browser open. That's theoretically what the Bitcoin one does, but it just doesn't pay off.
Well,
but if we could do that with Litecoin,
if we could make it easier to make to just make a pool for our audience.
No, I just want the money to come to us.
Yeah, but
why would we give back?
Because if everyone can make money, then we all make more money.
We love to give back.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is if we can get all of our listeners doing this and collectively do it, we all make the same amount of money that we would make anyway. We can do this through an easier system.
Yeah.
Like have our own pool, basically.
That's actually an interesting idea of like on-demand pools.
Yeah.
Like you just want to create one like with a few friends and stuff and just like pop it up and it's ready to go. I wonder if something like that exists.
If you could do that into some kind of like shared mining app thing, since you can do like Android mining and stuff, and make like Bitcoin mining like a social thing, like the more people you have hanging out together, like running
Here's
their
an
app.
idea. Have you heard of Witcoin? It's a very social mining application.
I'm not talking about social networks. I'm talking about like actual like being there social.
You make jokes about mining while you're mining.
Sure.
You could get hyper meta.
Sure. But yeah, like something that because it's all about abstraction at this point, right? Because everyone's jumping on the Bitcoin, Litecoin bandwagon, and everyone is doing the ideas that are like the ideas, like every new thing.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to get on. We want to find the next idea while we have the chance.
But if you can abstract the entire system into a idea, you can capitalize
I think that was
what
beyond what OpenCoin is doing, is abstracting a lot of, and then like in Coinbase, they make the tools available for you to abstract other ideas.
So my thing is, let's abstract the mining itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like abstract that part of it, so you can like get paid for other types of activities. You could use it for like fundraising for a business, and you do it based on like walks through the door or some shit. Like, who knows? There's all kinds of things.
There's all sorts of ways we harness, energy and things.
Sorry, I'm taking this gamification class on Coursera, so I'm like learning.
But that's a good application. I mean,
incentive-based things of business.
That's, I think, the key is you can do something like mining Bitcoin and gamify it, and you can make a lot more things in the real world. You can monetize a lot more.
And gamified.
Well, yeah, you can gamify stuff, but in gamifying things, you can monetize them. You can find ways to get people to do things and reach goals, and like then do weird other things, to reach those objectives. Like you'd open your door 20 times.
Yeah.
It'd be great for people with OCD.
Yeah, right.
No, but yeah, I think that's the future.
No, but like if every
I mean, even like Foursquare and stuff. I mean, that's just like gamifying going places and stuff. Take that one step further and figure out how going to those places mines a coin.
Yeah.
Put something in your shoe that like shakes and energizes a microcomputer. That.
See, I was thinking along the lines.
I'm going real far.
We had talked about this. I had talked about this before doing the YC application, and because it's hardware based, it's a lofty idea. I think we even talked about it on the podcast. Mm-hmm. But the idea of like recycling and paying Bitcoin for recycling. So like imagine like a garbage can that just has like a little screen on it that when you deposit a recyclable based on what it is, the screen pops up a QR code with a value, and then you just scan it into your wallet, and it's like thank you for recycling.
And I'm sure you could make with enough work, you could make something that could sort objects relatively well.
Yeah, sure.
And if it didn't know if it was recyclable or not, it would like kick back the item. Like if you put in Coinstar and you have a coin that doesn't match, it'll just pop it back. But like most of the stuff, even if you got like a 98% acceptance rate, you could have this relatively automated system.
Or you just have separated cans anyway. You know, you just have.
Well,
like
you
an
would,
aluminum
but you'd
can,
still have to be able to
plastic
check.
can, and
Someone could
glass can.
put a fake can in the aluminum can slot, and if the computer sees
Sure.
that it's a
Yeah.
paper can or something, you don't want to take
Well,
that
it's
in.
not gonna.
It's because, see, what I think is one of the most inefficient parts of the whole recycling system is the people who work there get paid a lot more than like what the recycling kind of brings back into the economy.
Right.
So here, unfortunately, you'd lose some jobs, but you wouldn't be paying people to do jobs that could be done by a fucking camera and a robot.
Yes. Yeah. Basically.
And yeah, and then like you just like in Coinstar, just make sure they're coins, and if they are, weigh them, put your stuff in, and
And then you just spit out a QR code, and
but you don't want to be giving away money if someone
Scan-
can put in
scan
you know
them.
fake items in there.
well, no
so
shit.
so you
Yeah.
but I'm saying that part of it wouldn't be too terribly difficult.
Right.
It'd be a cool engineering problem.
Yeah.
And if you could build one of these prototypes, I bet you could go on one of like the social funding sites.
Yeah.
Like they've got a lot of them now for not even like Kickstarter, but like that are for socially progressive projects. There's even like a 100 BTC or something.
Yeah.
It's like where you can get 100 Bitcoin to start a project. How perfect would this be to get that money for?
Yeah.
Actually,
basically.
that's
Yeah.
maybe we should look into putting
we should
putting
try
that
it.
idea together
Well,
on that.
We have to apply for the other. There's another VC firm that deals specifically with Bitcoin that we needed to talk to.
But that one is like for socially progressive ideas, and you get it. So if
Yeah.
we don't get into YC, I think that could be a cool
Sure.
next Bitcoin endeavor.
I
Because
think.
with 100 Bitcoin, you could do a decent amount of
And I
infrastructure.
think it's something that you can, because what does it do? It it basically gamifies the recycling process and capitalizes it by giving you Bitcoin for it.
Yeah.
So like think of what it
Yeah,
costs.
instead of just points,
you get a
you've got
nickel
your
for
points that are
putting-
worth money.
Sure, you get a nickel back for your can if you take it to the recycling. If you
just
drive
brought up Nickelback in everyone's mind.
Yeah, anyway, you did. If
You said it.
no.
Play
If
back
you-
the tape. You
if
said
you-
Nickelback.
If you get a nickel in exchange for
Oh.
your, aluminum can or whatever at the recycling place that you have to drive to, then what is that nickel really worth? But if just walking down the street, I can just like, boop, there's my plastic bottle, give me my nickel worth of Bitcoin.
Well, sure, and it'd be great, I mean, you could do something like in San Francisco where like every fucking, couple blocks
San
has
Francisco
it.
would eat that shit up.
That would be,
They
I mean,
love
that would be
environmental
where you have to
things.
start.
Yeah.
Because you have a dense market that's very
Yes.
eco-friendly.
And they're big on sorting things out and recycling. And
yeah,
all
they're the
that.
tech-savvy,
Mhm.
eco-friendly, conscious.
It's one of those things where like you are forced into separating, pre-sorting your garbage out when you live in the city.
Oh yeah,
Incentivize
they've got,
it. Incentivize it. Incentivize it.
well, they have like
and-
a private recycling company
Sure,
and stuff
yeah.
too, so that would actually probably be an easier market. You could partner with them to like put in things and like they get a cut of the profit, and they might even be. I mean, that might lay off some of their workers, but if they could replace their workers with robots, people at the top
It's
might
not-
be game.
You don't lose workers in the
You do.
no, because you still need people to go get the shit out of the garbage can.
Yeah, but the amount that would go in there would go way down if people were bringing it.
No, what I'm saying is you just have these are just like public garbage cans. Like
Right.
you'd have a garbage can.
So you need
still
people to go to like the
you
public
still,
ones.
You still need people like
Yes.
drivers to
Right, you
drive
need those
garbage
drivers. You
trucks
wouldn't
around
need the people
and get
sorting
the
it out though,
Right,
because
exactly.
that's a lot of the work is also
Right.
sorting it out.
And
post.
that's the shitty and inefficient part of
So
the system.
that's where if you propose this idea to those like the private recycling companies, you could probably convince them that you could
They
replace
make-
a
yeah.
lot of their factory workers with these machines, and they could make a lot of money.
Which sucks for the people in those jobs, but
Unfortunately, I mean, so did the whole what the hell, the mechanical revolution? What was it?
the
Industrial revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of machines and stuff, but they're way more efficient. And then it sucks immediately, but then in the long run, you get more engineers and people that
realistically,
work with those machines.
Aside
and-
from the people needing the money for like rent and stuff, why do they want to do that job where they're like sorting recycling? Is
Probably
it like
not.
their
Oh no, I'm
life
sure it's a
passion?
necessary job, but
No,
I mean,
well,
you
that's
take
what
someone out of a
robots
job
are.
like that, where do
That's
they
what
go?
robots are for, and that's how we move into the future.
I agree,
We
but
let
it
robots
sucks
do
that
those shitty
people
jobs,
do
and
have
then
those shitty jobs that don't have
and
much
then
else
we
to
have
go.
this currency that's not based on physical labor, and then everyone wins.
So
I
what
think.
we need is, they need somewhere to go when they get the boot from this job. So what we need to do is give them like some physical rig that like powers a mining thing, and like gives electricity and stuff back to the grid, because they're not used to like these high level like computer jobs and
Yeah.
stuff. They're used to like the manual labor and this and
Right.
that. So you just give them something that's like find like a man powered computer. But I do think it's sad because they don't have a lot of training like a lot of people do,
Right.
and you don't want to just rip that away from them.
Exactly.
But it's an inevitability. So
It's one of those things where, like, I don't want to put people out of jobs, but I want to put people. I want people
you
to
want to move
not
society
have to.
forward.
I want people to not have to have jobs.
Right. Future generations shouldn't need to do.
I mean, present generations technically shouldn't need to
And a
do
lot of
that
them
shit.
don't.
Right.
It's moving down and down. You know, the number of like factory workers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's
But
and it's
the thing
cool now
is,
that
if
you know
can
they're
have robots
programmed
do
like
it,
science and
it
math.
frees
and
up
stuff,
everybody else to do other things.
Right.
You get
Right,
more
that's what
art
people
and
don't
you get
realize.
more.
Well, you get more
you know,
high-level thinking.
yeah.
When you don't have to worry about, like, the mundane tasks, you start to use this brain that we've been evolved.
Mm-hmm.
This is what separates us from the machines that we can
neurons
build.
that it takes to decide whether this is plastic or aluminum.
I mean, and granted, there's some, you know, there's a lot of jobs, even like at factories and stuff, that take some level of, you know, skill to acquire first, and you become an expert. But then once you get those skills, it's basically mindless.
Right.
We need the jobs where you keep using your brain and keep moving forward. And use the robots for the things that can be trained once.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the idea of abstracting just people's daily activity. Don't make people do anything different, but incentivize them to do it. You don't make them do it, but if you do it, you're going to get a little bit of money in return.
Oh, yeah, well,
that's
the
all
best.
anyone cares about anyway, right?
People hate being forced into doing things. People love being incentivized to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Because then they feel like they're choosing to do it. They are getting something out of it. They're getting the reward. So it's just a much better existence to be, you know, willfully doing things. Like, I love to work, but I hate doing something that someone says I have to do.
Yes.
It just is shitty.
Yeah.
But I naturally will sit and like work on stuff that I'm interested in. So you incentivize me to go the right path with that.
Right.
I'll put a lot of work into something amazing.
Yeah.
It's so I totally think people can be influenced in it, and it just makes happier, healthier people and better output. So.
Oh, I was watching this. What is it, New York Times? This is total shift gears, but I just thought about it.
That was my broken brakes.
Okay.
I was slamming on the brakes before shifting gears. I don't know how to do this manual thing yet.
Yeah, you hit it's the one all the way to the left.
Oh, okay, my bad. My bad.
You also just fucked up your transmission too. No, I was watching a report on like actual calories reported in food, and and basically it was like this guy took like his what he would normally get in a day, so like a Chipotle burrito, a little sandwich from the one store on the corner, coffee from Starbucks, you know, like a day's worth of stuff.
Right.
And
hooker on the corner.
Yeah, and took it to some food scientists to see if the indicated, you know, because in this was done in New York, and in New York, as well as many other places, fast food places you have to put how many calories and stuff are in in your food. It's
like
law.
McDonald's stuff out here. They like
you have
Big Mac, 5 million calories.
Yeah, exactly. You have to. Just 550 calories.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how to read numbers.
But it was funny because he was looking through and he looked at, because this leads to this was back from like our Subway talk several episodes ago.
I remember that talk.
But he was working on all the calories, and every single one of them lied. The little vegan healthy tofu sandwich that he gets from his little bodega was like almost double what it was marked for calories. The coffee was a little bit more, but he was like, the girls there love me though, so they probably just gave me an extra shot or something. And then his Chipotle was it was like the Chipotle burrito is like already like 1,100 calories or something
Chipotle
like that.
would be a hard one though, because it is, people just putting the ingredients. So you can't say like an exact.
And they were off. I mean, the Chipotle burrito was like 1,100 calories, and it was like 1,300 or 1,350 or something, which marginally off relative to the amount of stuff, but it's an extra 250 calories that you're just not thinking about.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then Subway, he got a 6-inch sub from Subway, and it came in under the caloric.
Wow. Same thing though applies, I think, to Subway as what a Chipotle. It's people hand making the sandwiches, so there's going to be a lot of variability just in that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
cool.
just the idea that like Subway actually was like pretty spot on with their calories and all that. But what he was saying was the vegan sandwich was basically the amount of calories of a Big Mac. Okay. And then if he were to eat this in a day, the net calories he would have taken on it is like if someone would have slipped a double quarter pounder with cheese into his diet for the day.
Well, that's kind of cool because a lot of vegan food and stuff is relatively weak.
Yeah.
It's good to know you're getting a little bang for your buck.
Yeah, but if you're eating
but if you're not planning on that,
if you're
right?
eating it specifically because you don't want that bang,
yes, then that's shitty. Yeah, any misrepresented data is uncomfortable, and I mean, I don't know what they do about that. Can you file a complaint or say hey, I've got science that says this isn't fucking true?
See, the thing is the law just stipulates that they have to show it, and
not that it has to be accurate.
No one checks it.
Oh god.
No one goes through and looks at these numbers to actually police
now
these people.
Someone started, so it always starts with
one journalist to make a riveting story.
That's where it begins. That's where it begins, and then it spreads
on
on Twitter, and people get pissed, and then change happens.
Yeah.
I do have one more food story, and then I have to take a quick bathroom break, and then we'll get to reviews.
Take a dump?
No.
Take a big
gotta pee.
shit?
I've been drinking some beer.
Oh.
But before I get to that, I will talk on another yellow story. Speaking of urine yellow.
Oh, I thought yellow journalism. I thought we were going to talk about the Spanish-American War.
No. We're going to talk about yellow macaroni and cheese.
Oh! Yeah, we were talking about
this. So there's apparently been, for a while, people have been concerned with the yellow dyes in Kraft macaroni and cheese, and I'm sure other off-brands too.
Yeah.
There's yellow number 5, and yellow number 6 dyes in there. And I guess people have known these to have negative effects. I don't know exactly what they are, but in some countries they require your food to be labeled if it has that specifically, this has these substances which we know are crazy.
Yeah.
But Kraft hasn't really wanted to change that, and they haven't really said a lot why. But
because they're Philip Morris and they don't give a shit?
Not necessarily. They don't really give a shit about the people and stuff, but they do give a shit about why they do what they do.
Yeah.
So the theory is, which is a very sound theory, that comes from food researchers, is that they've done psychological research.
Yeah.
And this particular color of yellow is very palatable.
Right.
And if they were to change it to take these out of it, it becomes a color that people don't associate with being palatable. And visual cues actually play a big role in what we eat.
That's why when you go to a 5-star restaurant, it's not about portion size, it's about what the plate presentation is.
Right.
And that's why they give you a dinky little nugget of meat and
it's
strip
a combination
of asparagus. It's because
you want the flavor to be in that thing too.
Sure.
But so much of professional presentation is about.
It's a lot about presentation. Food is an art. Food is an art.
Absolutely.
And it's about hitting your senses. So you want to hit the eyes, the nose, the tongue, the texture on your tongue, and all that. You want to hit all those senses.
Totally.
And so it's very important.
Make it
the visual aspect. Think of why do you think they fake all the fucking commercials for fast food places with all that faked out food?
Yeah.
Because people go, God damn, does that Whopper look delicious?
If you were to eat that, you'd be poisoned.
Well, exactly, because it's all covered in formaldehyde shit. But they're like, but then you go get a Whopper and it's just this mushed together hunk of fucking shitty looking burger. And
I gotta go to Chipotle or somewhere where a burrito looks like a burrito.
Yeah, burrito is always gonna look like a burrito.
Looks like a tortilla.
It's never gonna look different.
But what I was gonna say, what's interesting to me is, speaking of all these senses, is synesthesia, which is, if you're not sure, is when people mix up their senses. Their brains confuse things. So it's really cool in that people will, a lot of times, when they see or hear certain words, they'll see colors, or some people can even taste color. Which brings up 2 points to me. One, it's cool that happens in general, but also we can sense more than our brains are trained for us to sense.
Yeah.
So even though your brain signals are crossed, people can literally, with their tongue, taste blue, taste yellow.
Sure. Yeah.
People's synesthesia, it's very obvious, but even though our brains aren't made for that, there's clearly signals being sent in through these tongue receptors. Because people with synesthesia don't have a bunk tongue, they have a bunk brain.
Right.
So it's really cool, and it really opens your eyes to sensors, and our eyes, nose, ears, and mouth, and whatever.
Yeah.
And
it's all sensory input.
They're tuned to what they're tuned to, but it's
all input. You send it to the machine, and then the machine.
This is where most of it happens.
Yeah.
But so the yellow in the macaroni and
it's
cheese
a software-based
may
problem, is what
actually,
you're saying?
even though it is just a color that's flavorless,
Right.
we might be able to taste that yellow. And if nothing else, we definitely can see the color as something palatable.
It's that same yellow as like when you're thinking of like delicious melted butter.
Right.
Like it's that same yellow. It's
I
that
can imagine
same...
without that, it might be like kind of like a grosser, like brownish.
Sure.
You know, something that would look a little like the organic macaroni and cheese that you get.
Yeah. Well,
like when you get
don't
that
think
stuff,
it's
it does look a little bit grosser.
The macaroni isn't the
No, it's
color,
the cheese.
Yeah.
Right, but so like the macaroni's not brown; it's like white.
Right.
But like the organic macaroni and cheese is like a darker kind of brownish orange. Like the stuff you can get at like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and stuff. Some of those I know are like that, so I imagine that would be like it.
And you gotta think that Kraft is just like, but it looks so good against our blue boxes.
I know, yeah. It just popped. We made our whole fucking logo with macaroni and cheese in mind. What the hell are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Aye. So yeah, that's Kraft. Kraft for you. We'll see
those
what happens.
Crafty bastards.
So I'm going to pause this recording for a minute.
Cool.
I'm going to pee and then
I'm gonna pause this recording by stopping it.
We'll be right back after a word from our not-sirs.
And then I'm gonna eat a chip and some beans.
Oh. I've got to stop this broadcast. Stop this train. John Mayer says no one's going to stop it.
Technical difficulties.